Good morning, saints, snitches, and the rest of y'all still lying in the group chat. Welcome to Morning Tea and Allegations, where the devil gets no mic and the truth gets the final say. Just to get some. Hey, hey. She don't run on rumors, she run on receipts. Sanctified shade with the screenshots to preach. This ain't just gospel, it's gospel flow. She prays, she claps back and lets the spirit go. Bible in one hand, the dark's in the other. She speaks with fire, can't silence the truth. Hosted by Bianca, the snitch with a mission, calling it out, 'cause our children deserve better. Morning tea and allegations, pouring truth with no hesitation, accountability in rotation. This is gospel education, transparency is our foundation, integrity leads the conversation, no rumor, no speculation, just facts, receipts, and revelation. Morning tea and allegations, where faith walks bold through shady temptation. No fake tongues, no false relations, just truth, conviction, and conversation.
Good morning.
Snitches on the airways. Known again, Snitches on the airways. Morning tea and allegations. Snitches on the airways.
Oh my goodness. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Although it's kind of borderline afternoon, particularly in my time zone. It is 2 p.m. Good morning. How you doing? Okay. If you're live, make sure that you say hi, say something in the comments. Let me know that you're here. And if you're a part of the replay ministry, then you already know. I want to know where you're watching from. I want to know that you're watching and tuning in. We have an action-packed show today. Okay. I'm sorry that I am not on my schedule. However, had a business meeting, had some things to do, and whoo child, I've been watching some live videos about some things that's going on in Tampa politics that we are definitely going to have to talk about today because early voting starts tomorrow. So we're going to talk about that in just a moment, but let's go ahead and get started with our church announcements. Amen. I'm so glad that you're here. And just let me give a shout out to the Sunshine Education Coalition. They have been having action-packed workshops, and I'm so thankful for them for the work that they are doing. And they have another workshop that is scheduled on September the 10th. You can scan the QR code that is on the screen, or you can visit the website that I'm going to post in the comments so that you can see the things that are going on. Also, the previous workshops, if you missed it, it is actively published on their website. So you can actually take a look and see for yourself the different resources and the different conversations that have been taking place as it relates to the Parent Code Workshop and how you can best advocate for your children, because it's a lot that is going on in education. And we're going to talk about it. Okay. Whew. The next thing on the church announcements is I just want to uplift Canva, and I'm going to continue to uplift Canva because all the things that you are seeing here has been with Canva's help. So I appreciate it. If you are a K through 12 educator, make sure that you can gain access for free. And if you're not an educator, please use my partner link. I'll post that in the chat to where you can get 14 days free of the pro plan, which I highly recommend that you use this tool, that you uplift your presentations, your social media marketing, all of it. I highly endorse and support Canva, and I'm going to always give them a shout out when I can and share my partner link because it helps me too. Okay. And for my equalizers and digital guardians and Patreon. So they got notice of the things that are being discussed today. And some of them have actually sent me information that is building this show today. And if you want to be a part of that space, please join me in Patreon, because that is where all the things are going down. I've made some changes to Patreon, so if you haven't seen it, go check it out. I'm adding more information in there. And as I am building these programs and the different things that I'm shifting in business, it's going to be in Patreon. I'm not fighting with these algorithms anymore. Okay, folks, not doing it. So find me there. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for your support. Okay. Before we go ahead and get started, I need to go ahead and run the disclaimers, because there's a lot of things that I'm going to be talking about that requires that. So let's go ahead and get the disclaimers queued up, because it is vital. It is vital. Let me get it together so that we can roll the clip.
Thank you, church members, as we have additional announcements and disclaimers that require your full attention. I am a certified snitch and whistleblower that reports on what is happening in our community. Like I always say, people lie, receipts don't. With that stated, the content used in this programming is protected under fair use. In addition, the views and opinions on this programming belong to me. I hold myself accountable and prioritize accuracy and truthfulness in my communications. So unless you have receipts, don't start with me. God is still working on me. I love the block button to protect my peace, and I desire to snitch on everybody, including me. Thank you for your attention, and govern yourselves accordingly. Amen.
I'm really glad that we got these disclaimers out the way. And I just want to uplift one of the things that was said in the disclaimer. Don't start what you can't finish. Please don't try me. Okay. I'm reporting the news. I'm not here to provide gossip. I'm here to provide receipts. That is what I've been doing for some time now. And I've been keeping it real cute. I haven't said too much, haven't did too much lately, because I've been protecting my peace. However, when it comes to things that impact our children, where people are playing games in the community that is harming children as a result, I got a lot of things to say about it. And so I am. So let's go ahead and get started by going back to Oklahoma. On episode 3 of season 4, I had shared that there were a lot of things that was happening in Oklahoma. I want to circle back on this discussion and give you a brief recap. So the superintendent, Ryan Walters, he had shared a partnership with PragerU to weed out the quote unquote woke teachers. Oklahoma has introduced a new requirement for educators seeking a license from out of state, and they have called it the America First Teacher Exam. Okay. Well, that test has launched. And for the folks in Patreon, I'm going to go live and we're going to take the test together. But I want y'all to see the website. I want you to see how it's laid out. So I'm going to share my screen so that you can come with me as I share this with you. And again, for the folks in Patreon, we're going to actually take this test together. But this is what the website says. Okay. This assessment is designed to reinforce foundational civic knowledge and promote traditional American values as a part of the state's commitment to educational excellence. I just want to note that Oklahoma is ranked 50th in education. So I don't know, but I just wanted to insert that fact there. But this is the website where you can take the test. Okay. And like I said, I'm going to share with you in the Patreon the test, but I do have some screenshots. Okay. So I figured out how the test was built. The tool that they use is Typeform. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that software or not, but Typeform is, interesting. I could have sworn that they probably would have used something different, but that is what they're using. So these are some of the questions that are on this exam that educators that are coming to Oklahoma to teach will have to answer. correctly in order to make sure that they get their license, to weed out the woke educators. So with all that going down, I just have some questions because I'm just trying to figure out, will this achieve the mission to weed out woke educators? Because you have to select the right answer. The way that the test is structured is that you have to keep doing it until you get it right. So I don't know the intentions here, but I just want to tell you that the block is hot. And the block is hot for the superintendent. So the State Board of Education, their meeting was canceled on the 28th. And I had shared with y'all on August 20th that they were having a meeting. And there were some things that were going on because the State Board of Education, some of their board members had said that there was inappropriate content on the superintendent's TV. The superintendent claimed that the multiple school board members that said that they saw inappropriate content on his TV, that they were lying and that it was a political stunt. And today they finally had their meeting and had a special called meeting. I want to just take you to YouTube so that we could watch this video together of just the foolishness that is going on in Oklahoma with this scandal, but also to highlight that these type of scandals are not happening just in Oklahoma. They're happening in a lot of places as it relates to education, and we got to be intentional about it. So let me share my screen so that we could watch it together.
Wednesday will be the first Board of Education meeting since the TV scandal broke. Today, Superintendent Ryan Walters told me that his priority will be on student outcomes, not distractions.
I will always do what's best for our kids. I will always work with folks to get that done.
For the first time since board members reported seeing R-rated content on a TV in Superintendent Ryan Walters' office, the Board of Education will sit down together and hold a meeting. It will be a special meeting Wednesday focused on hiring an attorney for the board and appointing a secretary. This meeting was called by board members after Walters canceled a meeting last week. During the fallout from the last meeting, Walters called the board members liars and said the allegations about the TV content were politically motivated. KOCO asked Superintendent Walters if remaining tensions could impact the board working together. He says not for him.
I can only speak for myself. Look, I am always willing to work with other folks to improve our kids' education. I'm an elected official. Hundreds of thousands of Oklahomans voted for me to come into office to try to turn our education system around. I've worked with folks from all backgrounds to do that.
Walters has denied any wrongdoing, calling the allegations a character assassination. An investigation by the House Speaker found the TV automatically turned onto a channel with R-rated content. KOCO will be at Wednesday's meeting. Reporting, Kylie Thomas, KOCO 5 News.
Okay. So this superintendent has been all in the media again for this new test, the America First Teachings Test that is being celebrated and highlighted. And meanwhile, he is having beef with his school board members, calling them liars, and then say that they're trying to assassinate his character. And what I find interesting out of this is that you'll have people to bring truth to light and to speak on things that happen. And then when they speak truth to power about what they saw, what happened, then it's slander and it's a mischaracterization and it's fake news and it's all of these things. And I'm just like, why can't we just be honorable? And people overseas don't. I've been saying this for quite some time now, folks. Okay. What I don't understand is why there are several board members that have said, I seen this inappropriate content on his TV. And then he goes on this campaign to call them liars and even called for their resignation. and is canceling meetings and don't want to meet with them. So I can't wait to get an update on what the results of their meeting was today. But they had a special called meeting, and there's a lot of things that they need to discuss and talk about because it is a lot going on, just like it's a lot going on in other states. And just to even unpack the research for this show today and to seeing all the different things going on, it is wild, folks. It is so wild. And I just pray for the educators because it's a lot. And speaking of, I'm glad that we're shifting to this next topic. Australia, Sydney, Australia. They had a group study. They studied over 5,000 educators. And I just want to share with you what the headline is. I just want to sit here for a moment. I'm going to read it out loud for the folks that are listening to this in the podcast version. This is what the headline says. Teachers' depression, anxiety, and stress at 3 times the national norm. And this is a new study. This study was conducted by the University of North South Wales in Sydney, Australia, that highlighted that teachers' depression, anxiety, and stress were 3 times the national norm. They researched, surveyed nearly 5,000 primary and secondary school teachers. And this is one of the largest and most comprehensive study of teachers' mental health in Australia. The researchers found that 90% of teachers reported moderate to severe levels of stress, while more than 2/3 experienced moderate to extreme severe symptoms of depression and anxiety. The figures for depression and anxiety alone were more than double the national averages and point to the profession under immense pressure. In response to these findings, the research team is calling for a multi-level approach to support teachers' well-being, including policy reforms to reduce non-essential workload and streamline administrative processes. They also suggest school-level monitoring of teachers' well-being and workload, investment in digital mental health programs tailored for educators, allowing flexible and self-paced support, and system-wide interventions to support teachers' retention and to reduce burnout. A personal story that I want to share in this is when I wrote my op-ed about working in the profession, I shared that I wasn't liking the person that I was becoming as an educator, and that I'm very grateful for my mental health therapist at the time, Charlotte McCullough, who helped me in that process of dealing with the complexities of the classroom, the interpersonal relationships that existed in the school climate and culture, and the work-life balance that impacted my home life. And I am sharing with you that our educators are struggling. Our educators need help. And what I've seen today posted on the federal government's website that talked about education, it is a complete gaslight. And why our educators are tired and fed up. And we've been having the same conversations pre-COVID. And COVID only heightened the complexities and the issues that we are experiencing. So I do want to uplift this research. I do want to share it. And I'm going to post a link so that you are able to read it with intention, because seeing this data was really sad. But I'm also just sharing my personal experience that it is a lot working in the classroom. And again, my experience was pre-COVID. So, yeah. So the House Republicans They had a meeting yesterday and they pushed a K-12 budget that just doesn't cut next year. It actually claws back money that the district already planned to receive next month. I just want to make sure that y'all hear me. So I'm going to just say it one more time. So the House Republicans yesterday, they had a subcommittee meeting and they are pushing a budget that doesn't just cut next year, but it takes money away that districts had planned to receive next month, like October, like in 30 days. Let me share my screen so that you can see what I'm referencing and what I'm talking about. So this information, folks, is public record. This is stuff that you can find on the website if you are looking for it. And I'm definitely looking for it. And I want y'all to look for this information too, because it's really, really important. So this meeting, they talked about rollbacks for the Department of Education. The same Department of Education that they tried to dismantle. There's federal courts going back and forth about the dismantling of that. And here we are where more money is going to be pulled away from our schools. One line item in particular that got my interest was Title I funding is going to be reduced by 27%. Folks, that is huge. As someone who works and had worked in a Title I school, what was provided wasn't enough. And now we're having additional cuts of 27%. That is, again, we are dismantling education and gaslighting our educators to say that they need to do better. But look at what is highlighted. It's in, I quote, despite outsized investments, America's public schools continue to fail our children and families. This is what's published on a government's website. Our government is saying that our public schools are failing our children and families. And I'm wondering, well, who's ultimately responsible for that? Also note that they did increase funding for charter schools and they did receive an additional $60 million. So charter schools is definitely moving on up as it relates to funding and the prioritization here. But to see that in black and white, that they are failing our children and families, and I'm again just wondering who is ultimately responsible for that. So that's a lot. And again, I'm going to post all of this so that you could see it. But the bill itself, the document, is 198 pages. It's almost a 200-page document where they talk about DEI and they talk about COVID-related mandates. And by the way, breaking news, I don't know if you saw, but breaking news is that our students in Florida are not going to be required to have state mandated vaccines to protect our children. And it was in the lines of talking about it as forcing vaccines to slavery. Yeah, that happened today. Breaking news. So I can't wait to unpack that later, but I just want to just say all of this is just really sad. And I'm amplifying this because this is in black and white, folks. These are the receipts. So they're cutting back funding for English learning services. They're cutting back funding for full service community schools. They are removing the program of Promised Neighborhoods, which that program's mission was to improve educational outcomes for students in distressed urban neighborhoods, rural neighborhoods, and Indian tribes. And they are eliminating the budget for the preschool development grants. So it's a lot in that bill. It's a lot in the document. And I just am praying as to what is going to end up happening here, because again, this is not sustainable. This hasn't been sustainable. We've been talking about this for some time, but that is what's published on the government's website, is that our schools are failing families and children. And I just want to know who's ultimately supposed to be responsible for that. And you can find this information on YouTube. They actually have a YouTube channel, folks, where you could actually watch the meeting. And I'm looking at how many people that have viewed it, right? And I see, as of when I took the screenshot of this, which was a couple of hours ago, it had less than 4,000 views. More people need to be watching and listening to the things that are happening and knowing the people that are making the decisions for us. So I go back to just take a moment about your ballot. The mission in 2026 is for you to know every single name on the ballot. Let me say it again. You need to know every single name on the ballot. You need to know who these people are. You need to know who they represent. And it don't matter what side of the aisle that they are, because there are some Republicans and there are some Democrats that both be doing wrong, that both need to be held accountable. So it don't matter what party you are affiliated with, what side you're on. And the fact that we even have this red and blue gang mafia type of mentality is a whole nother subject for another day. But I'm just telling you that you need to go vote, and you need to go line by line on a ballot and be intentional with your vote. Okay? Okay. You have headlines that are being circulated across the state as it relates to education and the enrollment numbers. So you have the federal government that's having conversations about reducing funding for our schools. And then we're also having headlines that across the state, you have different school districts that are seeing significant drops in their enrollment, to the point where you have certain school districts that are now considering closing schools or repurposing schools because of low enrollment. Policy is personal, folks. So this is why I'm like, hey, we need to have these conversations, because there are implications here, folks. There are things that are happening that we need to be aware of. And I'm telling you that the dismantling of public education is on full display for you to see, for you to witness. It is happening. And ultimately, who's responsible? Who do we hold accountable? Okay? Now, Governor Ron DeSantis is out here saying that Florida is leading school choice, and we have so many students that are now homeschooled, and the same state where we have a literacy crisis. So if you don't see the correlations of that and how this is just all messed up, then I don't know what else to tell you. But I'm here just to amplify it, because this is important to me. And I hope that this is important to you too, because advocating for our children is necessary and vital, because they didn't ask for this. They didn't ask for this. They didn't ask for this. So I'm just here to just share with you that children are not showing up. They're going to different alternative solutions, if they are going to any solutions at all. And it's just really sad to see all the different things that are happening across the state of Florida, the free state of Florida, which, let's talk about that for a moment. So with the war on these crosswalks and street art and all of that, and I reported and showed images of some of that on last week's episode, but there's no transparency as it relates to how much this is costing the taxpayers. In fact, there were several reporters that reached out to receive public records from the Florida Department of Transportation to see how much does this cost. You had workers that were working on Labor Day removing street art from crosswalks. So the question is, since Governor Ron DeSantis likes to talk about transparency as it relates to funding and where the money is going. Well, how is this being funded? Because this is wild. Meanwhile, we have students that are having a difficult time getting to school on time due to transportation issues that are happening across the state. It just selective outrage and participation for me. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. And I'm just here to uplift that in the midst of all this, our children deserve better. And it's really sad to see the dismantling of these different crosswalks, particularly the ones where the school raised funds to make the crosswalk going to the school look nice for the children, and to see that just be wiped away. That was really sad to see. That was really sad to see. So I just look to Governor Ron DeSantis in all of this, particularly as it relates to these policies and these narratives that are being formed about we need to have uniformity as it relates to these crosswalks and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, now what? Because you still have areas where there needs to be sidewalks in place so that children can properly walk to school safely, or better signage to where children can get to school on time, or fixing the logistical issues that we're having where students can't get to school on time due to the busing shortages and the different things that are happening across the state. So the question is, now that all of these crosswalks look uniform, what's next? And I want to know from y'all in the comments, what do y'all think is next? Because I feel like we go from one topic to the next. And if we could just have the same outrage about the Crackle Barrel logo as these school shootings and the things that are happening in our education system, I just feel like we could be in a better place. Truly. So I do want to shift and share with you some educational confessionals, because I did receive some messages from the folks in my Patreon community, and I thank y'all that are in there, about some things that were happening that they wanted me to highlight and talk about. And so I am, because it's important. So yeah, educational confessionals. Let's go ahead and pull that up. So this came in my inbox and was like, can you please talk about it? So the question is, did anyone else get a random Cologuard kit in the mail? I had no idea what it was for or which doctor ordered it. Then I got mail from the insurance and said that I was due and that it was no cost. And then the question was, then who gets the results? I'm so confused. I want to sit with this for a moment, because there were so many comments to this particular post and a lot of conversations about it. There were some educators that stated that they've tried to get a kit from their doctor and it was denied, and then to receive a box in the mail and not knowing who was going to get the results and all of that. It felt very jarring. And while interestingly enough, this is very interesting, I do want to share a personal story as to why this is important to me and why I'm even talking about it. So for those of you that do not know, I lost my biological mother to cancer. And the cancer that she had was colon cancer. And so I do highly recommend, maybe not the particular random test that was sent to your house, but I am going to uplift the need of getting screened for colon cancer and all cancers, because it is something that has impacted my family so much so. And so not only experiencing my biological mom have cancer and then later died because of it. Then years later, witnessing my father in his battle with cancer. Just cancer in itself is a really touchy subject for me personally. And I just want to just have a moment of vulnerability here to just say, please protect your health. Please get screened. Please do the things that you need to do to protect your body, to protect your peace. There is only one you. I have been very transparent on social media as it relates to my battles with my heart, having a pacemaker, needing to protect my peace, and removing myself from situations that have harmed me or can cause me harm. And I am just going to take this moment to uplift to y'all that it is very important to protect your peace out here. And because of cancer, it has changed the trajectory of my life. And I wish that I had an opportunity to be with my mom today. So I just want to uplift to say to please get the necessary screenings that you need. But also, I'm looking to the district on this one because the district changed insurance providers and really just kind of did a bait and switch, I feel like, because the premium and the deductible is so high that it's mind-blowing. Some educators cannot even afford to keep up with insurance. So much so that they've even posted some literature that says to make sure that you're picking an insurance plan that aligns with your paycheck. Like it is wild out here. And I'm just praying for the educators in Hillsborough County in particular, because it's just a lot of shady things that are happening and so much to uncover and so much to unpack in that. But please protect your peace as best as you can out here because it is wild. Okay. The next confessional. This made my heart so happy. The comment said, our school does not have a laminator. Where is the most affordable place to have posters laminated? I'm in the southeastern part of the county. And I just want to give a shout out to the principal at Palm River. The principal at Palm River says, how much do you need to laminate? I am the principal at Palm River and wouldn't mind if you used ours. Just send me an email if you want to come over. And I felt so happy reading that message and seeing the collaboration and the unity and just being a solution-oriented person and opening your school to allow another educator to laminate things for their classroom. And so I just want to, again, give a round of applause to the principal at Palm River for their service and for what they do. And that was just such an amazing moment to see that happen. And I hope that we have more collaborations like that. So shout out to her. Shout out to her. Okay. So outside of these confessionals, there have been conversations that are happening in the county where we need to have a discussion. And I want to uplift and want you to mark your calendars. The chair of the Hillsborough County School Board has stated that they will be going live tomorrow. And so this is their post. And I literally saw it right before preparing to go live. So I was like, ooh, let me go ahead and make sure that y'all know that School Board Chair Jessica Vaughn will be going live tomorrow at around 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And she definitely is bringing some Florida heat, she says. And she is here for transparency and she wants to give it to you. So please make sure that you are tuned in to Jessica Vaughn's page, her platform, and all that she does for the school board. And make sure that your information tomorrow around 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for her live. And for the folks that are in my Patreon, we're going to be watching this and talking about this together because I am very intrigued with the things that she is going to say, particularly because of the things that have been happening statewide, where you have school board members and you have school administrators that have been bullied by the Florida Department of Education, literally bullied into submission and telling them what they can or cannot do in the free state of Florida. Let me say it again, the free state of Florida. Okay? Wild work. Wild work. We're going to do a praise break because I do want to have a conversation about this city council race in District 5. And there's a lot to unpack and to talk about with that particular matter. But I need to get myself in formation and to clear the energy before I start talking, because some of the people that I've talked about before is going to resurface as it relates to this city council race. And yeah, let's just go ahead and do the praise break because I don't even want to get into it until after that.
This is gospel covered in the blood, but I got receipts too. Let's go. Patty B on the mic. I'm snitching for Jesus. Snitching for Jesus. Can't hold my peace. Snitching for Jesus. You play with me. Snitching for Jesus. Snitching for Jesus. Can't stay quiet. Snitching for Jesus. Spirit said try it. Snitching for Jesus. I walk in the light. Snitching for Jesus. And I still sleep right. You did wrong. Thought I ain't see it. Covered in grace. But I still peeped it. I took it to God. Then I took a stand. He fights my battles and I raise my hand. I'm snitching for Jesus. Can't hold my peace. Snitching for Jesus. Not my place. Then what he showed me. You played holy, but the Spirit told me the truth out loud. Let the strongholds break. You play with me. Snitching for Jesus. I ain't bitter. I'm just a snitch. Try to gaslight, but the truth revealed. I'm snitching holy. No shame, no cap. Covered in blood, and I brought the facts. Snitching for Jesus. Can't stay quiet. Snitching for Jesus. Spirit said try it. Snitching for Jesus. I walk in the light. Snitching for Jesus. And I still sleep right. Snitching for Jesus. Can't stay quiet. Snitching for Jesus. Spirit said try it. Snitching for Jesus. I walk in the light. Snitching for Jesus. And I still sleep right.
Well. Okay, so I have a new album coming soon. I've been talking about it, but maybe you don't know. But Holy Ghost Clapbacks Volume 1. And one of the singles, Snitching for Jesus, is going to be available where you can find your music very, very soon. So I'm glad that you were able to listen to that and be a part of our praise break because we needed it to talk about what we're going to be talking about. And I'm going to keep this real brief, short, and to the point. The politics in Tampa needs to be studied. The politics in Tampa needs to be studied. I have never in my life seen such chaos on the internet the past 72 hours. Let me tell you something. This city council race, early voting starts tomorrow, September the 4th through the 7th, and election day is on September the 9th. I have talked about this race in one of my Power Walk episodes, and you can go check out the Power Walk where you can find your podcast. Is where you can listen to me on my real life walks as I'm just sharing my thoughts. I'm not here to tell you who to vote for. I'm not here to publicly endorse anybody. But what I do want to uplift is our children are watching. Our children are watching. And it's sad that you have some individuals that will go on live to say, God told me this, that, and the third to say, and knowing that God did not tell you that, ma'am. God didn't tell you that. In fact, ma'am, I'm not going to call you by name because I'm not even going to give you what you really want, okay? But the fact that you are adding extra credentials to your name with no certificates and receipts to match is a whole nother matter, but that's something that you and the people who call you that going to have to deal with. I don't understand why y'all be coming up with these fake degrees and saying that y'all done did this, that, and the third, and the receipts don't match. Where's the transcript? But anyway, you have several people that are running in this city council race. And the politics of it, the back and forth of it all, it is wild. And there's a fake Facebook page that I've talked about before because this page, I've been a target of the page on Facebook. Now on Instagram, they ain't said nothing about me, but apparently there's a beef between the Facebook and the Instagram. So this is the fake Facebook page. Okay. Now, I've already said my suspects of who I think is over this page, and I'm going to tell you again. I think Keto Nord is responsible for this page, okay? And then they have an Instagram page where they're going back and forth. The Instagram page said, I got to zoom up to see it. It say, look at our Team BB Facebook fam over there taking our credit. They are only getting more followers because of this IG page, which put them on the map. We went back and forth about expanding to IG, and the old heads didn't want to do it. Now we're getting recognized by statewide publications, and they want to take credit. It's all good, fam. For the folks that are engaging and commenting and going back and forth with this fake page, you are part of the problem. Because at what point are we going to be like, if you can't say it with your name attached to it, then don't say it at all. Because the stuff that is happening on these pages, it is wild, and our children see it. So I'm telling you, the stuff is wild, and all of the posts on the Instagram in particular has to deal with the city council race. Again, please go and vote. Okay. The only reason why I'm talking about it is because the children that I advocate for, the person who's in the seat, this is all important. It's all intertwined. Okay. But this is really important that y'all understand that there are fake pages out here that are beefing with each other. They are both not sharing who they are or the people that's responsible. Just look. Just look at the stuff that is being posted here. Now, again, like I said, I believe that Keto Nord is an integral part of this fake Facebook page. I don't have no receipts to prove it, so I'm going to say allegedly. But this is what I feel in my spirit, that he got something to do with it. And I was a target on the page, on the Facebook page in particular. I was talked about. My divorce was talked about. My heart failure and me getting surgery for my heart. The things that are important to me have been talked about on that page. So I'm here to talk about it too. The children see it. Y'all got to stop. Y'all got to stop. And at the end of the day, to some of y'all, when y'all be poking the bear and then get mad that the bear poked back, please go vote. Okay. Please be intentional with your votes. Please understand. And like I said earlier in this programming, in 2026, the mission is for you to know every person's name on the ballot, what they stand for, who they are, and having a clear decision as to why you're voting for them. We're not just going to the voting booth and we're not just circling D's all down or R's all down. No, we're going to be intentional, line by line on this ballot, wherever you live. It is important. It is necessary. It is vital. Our children deserve better. And for the political shenanigans in Tampa, I'm choosing my peace. I'm staying out the fray here, and keep me out of it. I'm here to tell you that you are worthy, that you are enough, and I am sending love, light, and peace. Okay? I hope that you have an amazing day. I hope that you take this programming and you are aware of the things that are happening at a federal level, but also what's happening at the state level. Our elections are important. Our children are important. And while there's so much conversation and controversy about logos and crosswalks and vaccines, our children deserve better. They didn't ask for this. And looking at the data, we need help. Our educators need help. And I don't know what we're going to be able to do to fix it. I don't know how to fix it. But what I do know is how to amplify stories and letting people know what's happening and giving my truth and my experience and my perspective on it. Because ultimately, we need all hands on deck to fix the dismantling of public education. So please get involved with organizations that are out here doing the work. Again, shout out to the Sunshine Education Coalition. Their event is on September the 10th. Make sure that you visit their website to learn more about the different events that they're doing. And also shout out to Teaching for the Culture for the different things that we're uploading and we're doing as well. So please make sure that you check us out, because there's a lot of things that are going on, things that are happening, and I'm very grateful for it. So I hope that y'all make this an amazing day. And until next time,